High Rise Mystery, Chapter 56. I looked through the peephole. Mark. He fidgeted by the door and banged again. I craned my body away from it. I signalled to Norva. Her eyes widened. My heart raced. Norva tiptoed up the hall and crouched behind me. Ringo barked and scratched at the door. Mark banged again. I flinched. "Why are you hiding?" I whispered. "He can't see me like this," she mouthed. "Hello," he shouted. "I can hear you. Let me in. I know you're in there." I put the chain on the door and opened it slightly with trembling hands. "You lied to me," he hissed. "I need to talk to you about the clock. It wasn't there." "Oh, it wasn't?" I said. "So sorry." I began to close the door. He pushed it open with his palm. "Listen," he said softly. "I need some help. When's your dad getting back? Do you know?" Norva stood by the door, barely breathing, listening hard. "We don't know. He's still in custody. Because of you." Mark cursed under his breath. "I need to get back to work with your dad. I'm broke. Did he leave any jobs for me? Has he said anything?" He looked anxious. The audacity. "Mark, we haven't thought about you at all, to be honest." Lies. Behind me, Norva kicked my leg. I leaned away from Mark to look at her. She made a pleading face. She made a heart sign with her thumbs and her first fingers. I rapidly, but thoroughly, questioned her sanity. "Can I come in for a second, please?" He couldn't see my face. He was looking at Norva. She mouthed yes and nodded her head, then ducked into our bedroom. I could hear and smell her spraying copious amounts of deodorant. I opened the door. Mark stepped in and sniffed the air. "Super fresh in here," he said. He strode into the living room. Ringo jumped to his legs, begging to be petted, but Mark ignored him. He threw his phone on the coffee table and flopped down into the sofa, his knees far apart. I stood in the doorway. Norva stood beside me, smelling like pomegranate. She nodded at Mark. He nodded back. "Yeah, like, I'm sorry about your dad, know that, but I'm in big trouble here without him. No joke, I'm screwed." He looked defeated. "Why, what have you done?" I asked. He reeled off his reasons on his fingers. "I'm broke, Mum's struggling, she's getting worse, I need to stay out of trouble, and I'm failing at that." He leaned forward and put his head in his hands. "I'm rubbish without your dad, and I've got to find the clock. I don't even know why they want it." "They? Who's they?" Mark said. Norva. "The people after Serena," he whispered. "The ones who killed Hugo." "What?" Norva stared at me. I looked at Mark. "Someone's trying to kill Serena?" I asked. "And it isn't you," I thought to myself. "Yeah," he said. "They left her a note and everything. It's really bad." I reached for my phone. "Here," I said, "call Katie. She's the policewoman who used to live here, remember? She'll help you." "Nah," he said. "It's too late for that." He looked crestfallen. I felt a small pang of pity for him, but I shook it away. He's a criminal. Mark looked up. "Can I use your loo?" Did he not literally just come from his house? I sighed. "If you must." I pointed down the hall. Ding, ding. Mark's phone beeped and vibrated on the table. A message from someone called Serena. His spelling, honestly. "No, I can't do that, Mark." Norva pointed the phone. I reached for mine and took a photo. The toilet flushed. "You know what? While I was weeing, too much information. I thought about it, me being here. It makes no sense. You can't help me. You're two little girls without your dad." Norva looked deflated. Mark reached for his phone on the table. He noticed the message. His face was stern. "I better go. I have to finish some business. When you speak to him next, though, tell him I said keep his head up." Mark walked to the door. "Joe's innocent," he said. "We know," Norva said quietly. I shut the door. "Norva, did you hear that? Mark said..." I began. Ding, ding. Norva's phone, a message from George. "Do you want to know or not? Come down."